Alexander Fermin. I'm 18 years old, and I moved around a lot my entire life, so I'm not really from anywhere, but the most recent place I lived was in Texas. I remember when I was a kid, I was never really like the rest of the boys, especially in kindergarten. This comes to mind. The girls would go play jump rope, and the guys would go run laps around the fields, and I always wanted to do jump roping with the girls. And the girls would always ask, like, "Are you a girl? Like, why are you jump roping with us?" And so I always felt like I was a little bit different, but I don't think I knew until I was a little bit older that I was gay. So because I had not come out to myself, it was a little bit difficult in middle school and high school. The early parts of high school anyways. I had trouble with school, I had trouble with getting along with my family because I couldn't really get along with myself. But then after a while I came to terms with it and I was happy about it. But I didn't tell my family until my junior year of high school. And we were living in Texas, and I remember the night that I ran outside of my house. We were about to have dinner. It was taco night, Taco Tuesdays. We used to always have tacos on Tuesdays. So I ran out of the house right before dinner because I just couldn't, I just felt this weight on my chest, this incredible weight, and I needed to get out. So I ran to a park nearby my house, and my mom calls me, and she's like, "Where are you? What happened? Why did you run out of the house?" And I had done this before. I had stormed out of the house before, and so she knew that something was going on. So she called me. I didn't answer. She texted me, and I didn't answer. And I was just sitting on this park bench, and then my mom comes walking up along the trail, and she sits down on the park bench next to me, and she says, "What's going on? What's wrong?" And I say, "Nothing's wrong. I just wanted to get out and get some fresh air." But she was not buying that. So we walked for a little bit, and she basically just kept asking what was wrong, because something was up. And I kept telling her, "Nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong." But eventually I told her that something was wrong, something that we needed to talk about. Not wrong, but something that we needed to talk about. So we sat down on another park bench, and I just remember crying for a good 10 minutes, and my mom just rubbing my back, saying, "You can tell me anything. You can tell me whatever it is. I don't care what it is." She was saying, "Oh, are you pregnant? Did you get a girl pregnant, Alex?" And I'm like, "No, that's not it." "Did you fail a class?" "No, that's not it." "Are you smoking marijuana? What is it?" I'm like, "No, that's not it." So then I'm just crying. She's rubbing my back, and eventually I tell her, "Mom, I'm gay." And then she starts crying, and I'm just wondering, okay, are these tears of joy or tears of sadness? Because we never talked about these kinds of issues, gay marriage and things like that in the house. We were never really talking about political issues like this, so I had no idea what the reaction would be. And my mother's pretty religious as well, so I was definitely nervous. But she just starts crying, and she says, "I can't believe that you told me this. I can't believe that you've lived with this secret your whole life, and I'm so glad that you told me, and I love you no matter what. I love you just the same as a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago." So then I'm crying, and she's crying, and we're just crying together and hugging, and then she just starts asking me all the, typical post-coming out questions. "Well, what about your girlfriend? You had a girlfriend, and what about this and what about that?" And so I just kind of explained how I was living in the closet that whole time, and I made her promise not to tell my dad because I was horrified about coming out to my dad. And she said, "Okay, but you have to tell him soon because I don't think I can keep this in." And I remember for the following week after that, she kept stopping me in a private place and saying, "When are you going to tell your dad? And then she goes, I cannot believe that you held this in for so long, because I can barely keep it in for a week without telling your father. So I think that she kind of understood the weight that it bears on you to keep that kind of secret in. And I'm really lucky that both my mother and my father were very supportive and very accepting of me, and even though I did live in a more conservative state, I never really had a bad reaction. So I'm incredibly lucky, and I think that even though it was really scary to come out, it was definitely worthwhile, and yeah, I'm really glad I did it.